What's up? I'm Coolio from the Two Cool Bros and the Amazing Digital Circus episode 6, They All Get Guns, has recently released, and this is by far, well, maybe not by far because all the episodes have been pretty solid, but this is definitely the best episode that they have released so far. I'm going to review it and focus my review on what's going on with Jax, because Jax is absolutely cooked right now. So the setup to the episode is Zooble trying to hide from Kane because she doesn't want to join in on the next adventure as usual. Jax acts like a jerk and gets Kane over there, and they start things off. So for today's adventure, our main cast is divided into 3 teams of 2, and basically they all get guns. So they are having this grand shootout, and the last team standing wins. So the gunfight is very fun. It's probably my favorite story event or game that these characters have played so far. It's just hilarious. Some of my favorite parts include Ragatha sticking her finger in Jax's pistol and the pistol kind of exploding in Jax's face. The in the dark fight with Kinger versus Pomni and Jax. And ultimately the final showdown against Zooble versus Pomni and Jax, where the bullet kind of just ricochets and knocks all of Zooble's guns away. It's just a very, very fun sequence. Jax and Pomni having this chaotic evil chemistry together, singing a song in front of Zooble's door to annoy her and try to get her to leave and come out. The gunfight itself is just really fun. Like, this is the emotional high of the episode as far as just having fun, that fun aspect, before we get into the more darker, more character-focused stuff that comes in the episode. So each team has some major character moments, like Zooble and Gangle. So Gangle is scared because she thinks that Jax is going to enact some retribution on her for not joining his team, and Zooble, comforts her, consoles her, basically explains to her that she doesn't owe Jax anything. And, they have this cute discussion about self-love, what it means to love yourself, and, Jangle gets more secure in her own skin to the point where she's laughing maniacally and shooting a gun later. So yeah, it's really cool to see Zooble be there for Jangle, one of the more mentally stable members of the Amazing Digital Circus being there for one of the less mentally stable ones. It's always a nice treat to see. And on that note, that brings us to Ragatha and Kinger. So Ragatha is the first character to be eliminated in this gunfight, and when she is eliminated, she's sent to the loser corner, and she's all alone until Kinger is eliminated after her. And then Kinger consoles Ragatha because Ragatha is not feeling very happy right now. Basically, Ragatha realizes that her people-pleasing ways are driving people away from her. She feels like she's failed Jax, she's failed Pomni, that nobody in the circus really likes her. She thinks Jax hates her, and I mean, Jax does kind of hate her, but she also thinks that Pomni is kind of pushing herself away from her, and that she doesn't really have anybody, that Zooble and Gangle don't really talk to her, and she just puts all this pressure on her to be there for everyone, and then she beats herself up when she feels like she's not taking on that position, as a kind, supportive person that, everybody likes, because people don't like her. At least that's what she's under the impression of. So Kinger consoles her, basically tells her that, hey, you don't have to beat yourself up so much, you don't have to put so much pressure on yourself, and sometimes people just need a little space. So W Kinger for this moment, because some people were theorizing that Ragatha could be the next abstract because of how lonely she was feeling at the end of the last episode, but Kinger comes to her rescue, saves her and whatnot, and overall Ragatha seems to be in a much better place now. So Kinger is definitely one of my favorite characters now. I mean, he is very good when it comes to just helping and supporting the other cast members when he's in the dark, because when he's in the dark he can actually focus, and when he's not in the dark, he just has these silly fun moments. So yeah, Kinger is definitely a very, very good character. I really appreciate him bailing Ragatha out here. And real quick before I continue on, if you're enjoying this video so far, please feel free to leave a like, subscribe and tap that notification bell, as that helps out a whole lot. And then we have Jax and Pomni. So Jax and Pomni end up winning the game. They eliminate all the other teams. And then Pomni, she tries to have fun with Jax, saying, hey, I guess it's the time where one of us betrays each other. And Jax is, perfectly okay with Pomni shooting her, which kind of throws her off, So they have this discussion and things escalate because Jax is trying to push Pomni away. Now, based on what we've seen in the previous scenes, Jax pushes people away because he doesn't want to face the pain and the guilt or the shame of them abstracting. Though Jax has had some friends in the past, despite, him lying and saying he doesn't care about anyone in the circus, namely that frog named Ribbit that we see on the door that's crossed out, indicating that Ribbit has abstracted. And Jax was probably very close to Ribbit, but Ribbit abstracted, and now Jax doesn't want to get close to anybody else because he doesn't want to deal with the pain and the grief of losing them, which is why he doesn't attend any of the funerals, because this is his coping mechanism for being trapped somewhere where the people that you can get close to can end up corrupting, turning into a monster, and being sent to a cellar, because the Amazing Digital Circus is a very dark show. So Pomni sees right through him for the most part. She doesn't believe that Jax doesn't care about anyone. She even attacks him, try to get him to confess that he cares about people, but Jax, he's very stubborn. He sticks to his story. Tells Pomni that they were never friends, that if he acted like he was her friend, it was only to hurt her more, when it was revealed that, hey, Jax doesn't consider her his friend, or at least tells her that, he's lying to himself. It feels like he's trying to convince himself more than he's trying to convince Pomni. And one of the most tragic things is, one thing that Jax says is that Pomni doesn't know what people are like before they abstract, and before they abstract, they are very unpleasant to be around. And Jax says this while being extremely unpleasant, which seems to be foreshadowing to Jax potentially abstracting in the next episode, because he's lying to himself, he's living in delusion, and we actually see a scene later where he's basically having a mental breakdown and he barely manages to hold himself together. So yeah, basically Jax is in danger of becoming the very monster that he is telling Pomni he is, like in a literal sense, by abstracting. By his fear of losing his friends to abstracting is what is causing him to potentially abstract and become the monster that he wants Pomni to believe he is, instead of the real human he is with human emotions. He's not just a silly cartoon character. He just puts on this facade as a coping mechanism for the horrible situation that they're in. So yeah, Jax definitely has multiple layers to him. He's not just a jerk. Yeah, I feel like he will abstract in the next episode. I mean, that's what they seem to be setting up, unless they want to throw us for a loop somehow. But yeah, Jax is cooked. He is absolutely cooked. At the end of the episode, they do this thing called the Best Character Awards, but it turns out just to be a joke, because Kane thinks that he's the best character, or that he was voted the best character, when in reality it was Ming, Ming, the whole ass Su Ming joke from the beginning. So yeah, it was just a joke, an ending joke. So the main thing to focus on is that Jax is close to abstracting. Pomni and Raga also have this moment where they're trying to talk to each other, trying to reconnect. So I really appreciate that. I wish we saw more of that this episode. I really wish that we saw a conversation between Raga and Pomni in this episode, with them, just reconnecting, sharing, what happened, how they've been feeling. I think that would have been a great way to kind of end this episode off, but I guess we have to wait until the next episode to get to that. But overall, this has been peak fiction, a very, very good episode. Next episode is probably going to be Jax abstracting, and it's going to be a very sad, emotional episode. That's my prediction. So, what did you guys think about this episode? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comment section below, and if you enjoyed this video to the end, feel free to share it with a friend. But yeah, Jax is cooked, Jax is screwed, Jax is going to be abstracted. And yeah, we are in for an emotional roller coaster for the rest of these episodes. Peace out.